House Suite here in Oakland, California, man. The view is priceless, man.
Welcome.
Yeah. Well, I see a lot of research on the table here, if you don't mind. What will we be researching today?
Part of my daily grind is looking at products, especially for the delivery company. So I'm always looking at new products. So I had somebody come by earlier and drop off some samples for me to take a look at, to get me some hats and a t-shirt. Some of the flour on the table is just regular OG, different variations of OG. I think one's a Doc OG, one's an OG Gorilla Glue mix, and then this one's another OG on the other end. So I'm just looking at flour and seeing what's available for purchase.
I tell you what, I want to get into some man, let me smell this, man. Hold on.
That over there is like a little bit lower grade OG.
Mm-hmm.
These two on the end right here are a little bit better products.
Mm-hmm.
And then this hat is from a company called Humboldt Kings, and I do a lot of business with them too. They do distribution and cultivation.
Okay. Well, as I spark up and get to my research, tell us a little bit about your business. Well, first of all, let's start out by telling us the name of your business and how you came up with the name.
Okay, the name of the business is True Holistic Health Center. The way I came up with the business name is it's actually a family business. It's owned by me and my mother. And my mother's background has been working with women with debilitating illnesses, primarily HIV and AIDS. So when we started working together, we were just really kind of focused on what we could do to provide medication for the people that needed it.
I wasn't ready. Man. And this is a indica, right?
Yeah, these are all indica dominants. Primarily indicas are what people want. We consider that nighttime weed. It's for people that have pain issues, issues with sleeping. Those are people that usually we prescribe indicas to. Sativas are people that are need to have an active lifestyle. We usually call that daytime weed. And a good idea of a good sativa would be like sour diesel. That's a sativa that a lot of people know. Blue Dream, that's a sativa a lot of people know. So a lot of people in New York tend to like that because it keeps them, they gotta stay open, and things are moving so fast, they gotta stay on top of their toes, you know what I mean?
So what is the mission of your business?
The mission is to provide medicine for everybody that needs it, preferably for free. I mean, that's difficult to do. We are focused on one particular market. It's the debilitating illnesses market. So veterans, people dealing with PTSD, HIV and AIDS, cancer. We want to provide them with clean products for a fraction of the price. And then we charge the retail customers. I mean, that's where we make our money. We make our money off the retail customers. But the focus for True is to give them true health care. And we're also trying to give them alternative medicine to help get them off, cannabis. We're not trying to have anyone that needs cannabis, smoking cannabis if they don't really need it.
Right. So, being an entrepreneur in the cannabis business, what's like, give us like your day-to-day, in the day of a life.
I wake up really early, probably about 7 a.m., sometimes a little bit earlier. And then I'm prioritizing what meetings I have for the day. And it's mainly a meeting with other vendors, I'm meeting with distributors, I'm meeting with cultivators, and I'm meeting with different manufacturers to go through different product lines. I have partners, so we all have different jobs that we need to kind of do, so we kind of check in with each other to make sure everybody's on the same page. There's so many different parts to the game in the business. I'm on the buying side, and then I have guys that are working on the platform side as far as making sure that we can reach our customers efficiently. E-commerce side of it, there's just so many different parts of it. And then there's the political side of it that my mother does a lot of, and she has a relationship with the city of Oakland, and we need all of those things in order to move forward with our projects.
You had mentioned cultivators. What is a cultivator?
Cultivators are the people that grow the cannabis. And the way it works here in California, which is kind of like a model for the rest of the United States and ultimately for the world as it trends towards legalization, is that it's broken down to two different facets of the industry. Cultivation is one, and that's when you cultivate and grow the products. Manufacturing are the people that take the products and they manufacture it into the oils that you smoke in a vape pen. They also are the ones that are responsible for making the edibles and making THC consumable in manufacturers. And then there's a new segment called distribution. The distributor's responsibility is to package up the products, test the products, and then they distribute the products to the retail stores. And then there's two retail licenses. One is a storefront license, which is commonly known as a dispensary. The other one is called a delivery-only license, which is exactly what it says. It's a delivery-only permit. And so they're two separate licenses. And then the other entity to this is the testing side, which usually goes through the distribution company. So the products are dropped off from the cultivator to the distributor. Distributor tests it and packages it up.
Sounds like a lot to be going on. Well, being an African American in America, I know that there are racial inequalities. What are some of the obstacles that you had to overcome when starting this business?
Well, the most difficult licenses to acquire are the retail licenses right now. Storefront and non-storefront, which is delivery only or a dispensary license. So being a black person in America and acquiring one of these licenses is almost like fishing for a mermaid on the back of a unicorn. So it's damn near impossible. And I use that candidly, but that's the reality of it when there's only 4.5% of cannabis businesses that are owned by black people, and 80% of them are owned by white people.
Well, that brings up another point. Explain some of the social injustices behind cannabis.
Well, I mean, we could run down the stats all day. I mean, I think African Americans might make up maybe 16% of the population in the United States, I think. But we make up 40% of all the people incarcerated for drug offenses. So we can start there, and then it gets even deeper, where we've known cannabis has been a gateway drug, at least that's what they've called it. It's just been a gateway drug into their system, really. Because what I mean by that is 85% of new cases of people being arrested for the very first time are cannabis related.
Wow.
So what they're trying to do is they put cannabis in our neighborhoods, and they are arresting us for petty possession of cannabis. It could be a joint, it could be a blunt, and then next thing you know, your life has changed. That means you can't vote anymore, you can't get a job anymore. They drug test you for it. So all these things are the reason why cannabis has just been built on the backs of black people, but yet they're not sharing the wealth. And the mission for me and for my particular business and for everything that I'm trying to do is to bring this to the forefront, to have these conversations, the uncomfortable conversations, and then empowering other brothers to get their licenses, because that's the key is, you need to get your license.
Each one teach one.
Exactly. So, I mean, there's a few ways to go about doing it. I mean, that's a whole other conversation. And right now, game is free. So, I mean, you can contact me however you need to contact me through different sources.
You're on Instagram. How can they find you on Instagram?
You can hit us up on truedeliveries.com, and you can hit us up on
Black
Smoke White Ash TV. That's on Instagram.
Black Smoke White Ash. Okay, so Black Smoke White Ash has been introduced. Right. Explain Black Smoke White Ash.
Okay.
Both definitions.
Right. So, Black Smoke White Ash is a television show that I created And it was really just kind of a way to document the whole process, really, because I knew I was going to have to come back and reference it at some point. I knew the information was valuable, and I knew other people might want to see it. What a lot of people don't know about the industry is the inside stuff. They don't understand all the things that we go through in order to get the products on the street, or guys get the products on the East Coast. They don't know the whole cycle of cannabis. They don't know how it all works. So I felt like it'd be a good idea to start telling people how it works. And this is real life for me. This is part of my day-to-day grind, and it's interesting. And so I felt it would be a good idea to bring it to camera. So the idea of the show it was a opportunity to promote the business, but then it was also an opportunity to really kind of talk about some of the things, the social injustice side of it, that I felt was really important. And I felt like it was important to, be on the forefront of the mission in regards to sharing the information to other people of color and helping other brothers and sisters get their licenses. So Black Smoke White Ash has two meetings actually. The first meeting is that white ash is literally a cannabis term for the cleanest and best products on the market. So when you smoke a joint and it's got white ash on the end of that joint, and you're ashing it in your ashtray, that means you're smoking some really good products. So that's our term for a really good product in cannabis. And Black Smoke is the Black cannabis entrepreneurs rising up. It was, it reflects all of us that are in this business, and there's not too many of us. And then the other meaning of it is that, man, we're destroying all the stereotypes, man. We're burning the whole industry down as a whole, and what's going to be left is the ash. So that's kind of what it means to me. It has dual meanings, and it's probably going to emerge into something else over the next couple of years too.
Well, in the community, small niche community, I'm hearing rumors and sayings of you being called a $6 million man. So, is there any truth, or where would that have stemmed from? $6 million. Now I see you traveling the world now, so I'm looking at you sideways, like, hey,
man. It's just vision, man. I guess, and tireless work, I guess, perseverance. Professionalism, persistency, those things, the 3 Ps. So a lot of my peers think that I don't sleep, but I really don't, because I'm working all the damn time.
Right.
I guess that term got kind of coined when
billionaires don't sleep.
Yeah. That's the other joint is, billionaires only get sleep. They're the only ones that need it. The rest of us need to get up and get some money. Only billionaires get sleep, so that's the next thing that we're working on too, the hashtag. That's kind of where the whole little $6 million man thing come from, man. I got a bunch of ideas, a lot of concepts, and I work really hard. So,
now, I was privy to some behind the scenes reviewing of the TV show you got going.
Right.
And man, you got to go to Dubai for the first time.
Right.
How was that experience?
Dubai was kind of like one of those situations that just changes your whole life, because you get a different perspective of how people are doing things on a different level, and the level of opulence and just privilege that you see over there is just tremendous. I mean, there's just so much money and opportunity. One of those beautiful places. All the people were really warm. You think in desert, but there's water. And Dubai, they do everything better than everybody else. If it's something that anybody's doing in the world, they're going to do it bigger and better. So I recommend going to Dubai. So this cannabis thing's taking me all over the world, and in the process of trying to find the right partners and trying to find the money, there's no limitations on where I'm willing to go. So over the last few months, we've gone from Colombia to Los Angeles, from Los Angeles back up to Oakland, from Oakland to Dubai and back, and then back to Colombia. So I probably traveled about 30,000 miles in like the last 2 or 3 weeks or something.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
International. Passport.
Yeah, well, cannabis is going international.
Legally.
A couple of significant things have happened here.
We're stressing legally.
Yeah, a couple of significant things have happened here recently. The House just recently passed for decriminalization of marijuana, right? And which has never happened before in history. And one of the stopgaps for that being able to go through was that we had a Republican Senate. But here just recently, we have a Democratic Senate now. And we have a vice president that's from Oakland, California, straight from the town, believe that, who is behind the whole movement. So I was talking about 4 years to 8 years for legalization. It could probably even be sooner than that. So what does that mean? That's the real question. What does that mean? What that means is that big tobacco and big pharmaceutical companies can get into cannabis. And that means people like us are going to get starved out. So now's the time to go hard and fast on getting your own licenses and figuring out how to do so and getting in contact with us so we can share the information with you while it's available. Because eventually, it's not going to be available. Shut it down.
Like limiting the license and stuff like that.
Well, that and the information. Because right now, like I said earlier, right now it's free game. Right now it's free game. But this is how we make our money. And I want to share it with many other brothers and sisters as I can. But here in a minute, we're shutting all that down. So,
right now, free info, Black Smoke, White Ash, TV on Instagram.
Right.
Also, be sure to follow. Listen, we get you inside exclusive footage. The man behind the machine of Black Smoke and White Ash will be on the inaugural cover of Marijuana and Music. Now, he has some music deep in his soul, down in his heart that I'm gonna pull out a little later. But that's it for this segment. The first edition of Marijuana and Music, Mr. Caron Marcelous.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day to look into my day, and I hope that it was informative, and hopefully you guys reach out to me. The other place to reach me is at blacksmokewhiteash.com. Blacksmokewhiteash.com is another place to reach me.
Spell it for them, for those phonetically challenged.
It's just how it's written, blacksmokewhiteash.com. So hit me there if you can't reach me on Instagram.